Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fort Deep Sports Talk here on this Saturday. I'm Justin Ferrer, aka the Sports Minister, and now a word from our sponsor. This segment of the Fort Deep Sports Talk is made possible by the generous support of Diesel Direct. Diesel Direct, the national fuel resource in 46 states, boosts a fleet of over 900 fuel delivery trucks. Fort Deep Sports Talk would like to congratulate Diesel Direct on its 26th-year anniversary. Thank you, Diesel Direct, for your unwavering support, helping us provide a platform for high school and youth athletes in southeastern Massachusetts.
Very good. All right, everybody, I'm Dominic Damiano, joined by our former intern on his way out as tears were in the hallway. As we say,
I had to gather myself before I came back.
as you say, by the, Matt Clayman from Taunton High School. Luz Cabral is, if you're watching us on our Facebook page, we have Luz Cabral. She's right next to the Sportsmaster. Behind me is the paparazzi in training herself, Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC. We happen to be joined by the North Attleboro YMCA Special Olympics co-ed basketball program, and we'll have these gentlemen introduce themselves. So,
Hi, I'm Kevin Morrissey, coach, partner, whatever it takes.
there you go.
And hi, my name's Dan Farley, also helping to coach out at the Hockomock Wise basketball program.
Leon Farley, son of Dan, an athlete.
Excellent.
Excellent. So if you guys want to dive in, you just go right ahead. I know you're tired, Sportsmaster. I know.
A tough night.
Who asked first?
You can go first.
Okay.
Sportsmaster always goes first. That's why he's the Sportsmaster.
Okay. Fair enough.
Privilege with the role, right?
I'm sorry. Can we please? I really side tangent. I really hate the word privileged. Okay. Now that I got that out of the way.
It's a burden. How's that? It's a burden.
Yeah. Burn.
There you go.
I went to Attleboro High. Is the rivalry still big today with Attleboro versus North Attleboro as it was back then?
I mean, my kids grew up in North Attleboro, and this is 20 years ago, and there was, obviously a good rivalry. I haven't been around there. I live in Foxborough now. The kids have grown up. I don't see the rivalry that there once was, because I think the Hockomock League is sort of split up some. And again, I'm not close to it, but I do see that it's not the core group of high schools that were there today that were 20 years ago.
Right. So you guys don't see anything like that in this basketball program.
No, I think if we think about it from a Special Olympics
Go,
perspective.
just grab that mic right in front of you.
Okay. From a
Thank you.
Special Olympics perspective, we're with the Hockomock YMCA, which covers Mansfield and North Attleboro and Franklin, right? And so I think that probably not quite the way the Hockomock League used to have its lines. Although Attleboro has a really strong program as well, so we see them in basketball and other sports too.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great question, because we don't know. We're always tackling the youth and the high school, aspect of sports, and like Justin was saying, there's been such a, on Thanksgiving, who's playing? Attleboro's playing North Attleboro for 100 years. So it was a great question. I was curious as well, but that must be fun though when you have a chance to get all these guys together from different parts of the area.
So I got involved many years ago. My oldest son is a Special Olympian athlete. He's going to be 44 this year.
Wow.
And, a long time ago, 30 years ago, might be 25, but we started with Special Olympics, and we started playing out of Attleboro. So he was part of the Borough Bombers. We bowled, we played basketball, we did all kinds of things. And then we moved away, we came back, and we moved to Foxborough. And that's where we got involved with the program out of the Hockomock YMCA. So there are games that we play today against Heller's Angels or and other teams that might have a Attleboro contingency, and there's not the rivalry as much as there's the friendships and those old acquaintances. It's like, oh, I played with him, years ago, and they still remember each other.
Wow.
It's one of those things. I think Dan and I we coach a team together. It's bittersweet when you beat a team that has a lot of friends or people you've known for a long time, because you're happy for all of the athletes, but you can see some of the sadness that is associated with some. So they're all our athletes, I guess, is what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Is there a cutoff age for the group that you guys are coaching right now? Is there a cutoff?
No, there's not. In fact, Special Olympics runs all the way. We do track and field too out of Mansfield, and at the summer games there's usually a group that are probably in their 70s who are doing walks around the track as part of that program. So this is definitely something that can stick with these folks for a long time. It's a good way for them to play with their friends, get get out and move around, as well as the fun of athletics.
Absolutely. So we have a call. If you guys want to put on your headphones, and Coach Dan's getting out of it because you have to answer the call because he doesn't have the headphones.
Yes, we have a caller. Hello, you are live here on 4 Deep Sports Talk.
Hi, I was just calling about
I know this guy.
Uh-oh.
Some of the initiatives that are happening at the YMCA in regards to the integration program, and some of the things available to Special Olympic athletes through the YMCA. I think there was a tournament there recently. Can you talk about that?
Good question.
That's a very good question. I could hear him through the TikTok channel.
I will say you didn't give me a lot of time to load up the phones, but that's my son, Sean. And we did just have a tournament at the Foxborough YMCA with how many? 40 or 50 athletes participated.
Wow.
The tournament was the Christopher Ross Morrissey Basketball Tournament for All. It's named after my youngest son, who died 10 years ago, but his passion was Special Olympians. He coached his older brother's team when they were part of the Borough Bombers, and he was very into that. So when it came, how can we, remember him? It was, hey, let's partner with the YMCA. And at that time, the president was Ed Hurley, and we came up with this basketball tournament for all, where athletes come and they get to play round robin. Every year it gets a little bit better. This past year we had Special Olympics was there, and they did healthy living. I think I can't remember I can't remember what it is, but healthy living. We had the comfort dogs there. There were probably 10 or 12 comfort dogs that the athletes got to interact with. All kinds of snacks, all kinds of pizza, and all of the athletes get a team shirt. But to stay along the lines with Special Olympics, they all get a tournament medal. And I think the tournament was 2 weeks ago, and we still have athletes wearing those medals to practice.
That's awesome.
So we have that kind of thing, going on in partnership with the YMCA.
Yeah, please.
So the tournament was a ton of fun. The refs were there. It was real. It was a full-on proper basketball game, which was fantastic. Just maybe one thing from an explanation point of view, the caller mentioned the idea of the integration program.
Yes.
Might be worth just a minute on what the heck that is.
No, absolutely.
So at the Hockomock Y, what they have set up now is what they call this integration program. And the idea is, how do they develop various athletic programs that folks with special needs can go and participate in? And so, we're talking about basketball today, but we did flag football in the fall. They've got bowling, right? They'll do golf, all sorts of different activities, various age groups from, younger kids up through young adults, like Catherine and Liam are part of. And so it really has been a great way to give them a look into all the different kinds of things that kids their age would do, or young adults their age would do. And I think the other part that's really interesting, and we do this a couple different ways, is that Special Olympics Massachusetts, or SOMA, has set up now, there's two different ways that these games go on. One is sort of the traditional, where it's all Special Olympics athletes. Yeah. And then probably, I'm not sure exactly, probably 4 or 5 years ago, they really made a push to do what they called unified, and have unified partners. And so, for example, in basketball, you've got 5 folks on the court, and it needs to be at least 3 athletes and 2 partners. And on the one hand, it also helps the athletes sort of manage the game. And
Yep.
we see this in football too, where big help with that. But I think the other bigger picture piece that they're trying to put out there is how do we not make it so it's such a separate, different thing? The more that we can get people just playing together, right? The more that they're going to learn. And I think over the years, and Kevin, I'm sure you've seen this too, like the impact it's had on the partners is probably as strong as the output for the athletes.
So is it like the buddy system, so to speak? Or is it?
Yes and no. I mean, I think you've got them out there. I mean, they're playing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, I think depending on who's on the floor, sometimes we need them to help sort of manage the game a little bit.
Absolutely.
But sometimes it's just getting the rebound and dishing it off to the guys, and they're going to run. And so, I think it depends a bit, who you got and their skill levels, and we've got folks who can play great defense and shoot the lights out of the ball. Casey is like, a marksman when she's out there shooting.
Casey, who knew?
And so, everyone's got their different skill sets and what they can do. And so the partners are there to help amplify that.
That's awesome.
So my question to you guys is, you said like 40 to 45 kids and adults. And who's organized? That's a lot. I mean, I only see 2 guys here. I mean, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of athletes to organize.
We have, the program has grown significantly just over the last 3 or 4 years. And to put it in perspective, when the Christopher Ross tournament started in 2015, we had teams from North Attleboro, from the Hockomock YMCA, from South Shore, and from Central Mass YMCA. This last tournament we had was just our teams from the Hockomock Y, because we had 40 or 50 athletes that wanted to participate. So, it's grown, phenomenally.
Yeah.
Now, I'll also say that, one of our biggest challenges is getting volunteers to be able to be partners to coach. And with 40 or 45, 50 kids, and we go 2 hours a week let's focus on basketball. We go 2 hours a week, Wednesday and Friday nights. And so there's 40 or 50 kids for 2 hours in that gym.
Yeah.
So it is challenging, but again, getting back to this year, we've got more siblings that are partners. We've got more parents that are involved. And so normally we have a lot of coaches. We have more coaches than we've had in the past on those practices. We have more partners, on there. But to your point, it's very challenging sometimes to have 40 or 50 athletes that, can be, challenging in of itself.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to teach them basketball. So everyone that comes, we utilize to help.
Yeah.
Dan and I are representing all of those people. And, again, we can't thank them enough. We can't do this without those volunteers. And we never have enough volunteers to be able to support the number of kids that are coming into the program.
Yep.
And I should say athletes, sorry.
That's okay.
Right, so I think we'll step away here for our first break. So you've been listening to 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM. We've been live with the YMCA Special Olympics basketball team, and the phone lines are open. You can call at 508-222-1320. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. We are back here on 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM in the news station, which is my my last official show here. Whew.
It's been quite a ride.
Yeah. It's gone by fast, you know.
You know that.
It did go by fast.
Make it as fun as possible, and
Of course, that's the goal every week. Yeah.
Right.
So live here we have me on the board, Matt Clayman, and we have Luis Cabral, we have Justin Ferrer, the sports master, Dominic Damiano, KC, doing the TikTok, specializing in the corner, and the Special Olympics basketball team. So I know we were talking about before break, talking about some of how the program runs and kind of the staff, and I know Coach, you wanted to add something kind of about that when we were going to break.
Yeah, so I think, Kevin was absolutely right on in terms of the number of volunteers that help to make this thing run on a day-to-day basis. I like the fact you called it challenging. I think it's sort of organized chaos sometimes at these practices, but it's all good. Everybody has a good time.
Right.
But it works.
It works, exactly. I think the other piece of it that makes it all run for us is that this is actually like a proper program that the Y runs. And so they've got staff that are organizing it, making sure we have the gym time, the equipment organized, getting back and forth. So I think, that lets us focus on the athletes and focus on the sports side of it, and not all the other pieces. So, I think that's been a huge, the investment that they've made in order to have that program is massive. And, obviously, it's a big area that they get a lot of support and fundraising for, but it definitely has been an important part about making this all happen across the region. And we talked about the communities we serve, but it's not just the towns that the Y operates in. They pull in people from all over the place. So, I think, there's one kid that comes up from Southborough that comes down and
Wow.
That's a hike.
play. So even, when we do track in Mansfield, we got kids from 8 or 9 different towns because, not every single town has a Y like we have or programs like we have. And it's been a huge way to kind of get a lot of continuity or participation from folks.
That's great.
Nice. All right, Liam, you ready?
Yeah.
You need to explain. What's it?
Okay.
What's the name of your team? What team are you on?
All Stars, I think.
I'm just looking at the standings. I'm trying to look at your team. Oh, that's right. You're on Hawk 2 right there. Sorry. Hockomock All Stars right in front of me if I scroll down to the name.
Nice.
So what position do you play?
Both defensively and offensively.
So we don't usually play with specific positions.
All right, but you play 5-on-5.
We play 5-on-5.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
But it sometimes works.
it works.
It works. Yeah. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
So during the season, right, who do you look forward to play every year? Is there a certain team? Someone come to mind?
But sometimes Taylor's Angels, but talking back, they're a really difficult team, and I admire that.
Okay.
why do you play basketball in the first place?
Yeah, why do you play? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say because his mom makes him.
I thought he was going to say his dad made him up.
Well, I could say that, but I shouldn't.
You can say whatever you want as long as you don't swear. So whatever your opinion is, you're absolutely right no matter what. So do you like taking a long shot or do you like driving to the hoop?
Both, actually.
Nice.
How long do you see yourself playing basketball for?
Probably like two to 3 years at best.
Do you want to coach like your dad? Do you want to straighten your father out and show him how to really coach?
And train him my Bill Belichick. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Dad, you're in trouble. You get a new coach.
So I've coached Liam for the last 2 or 3 years for both flag football, basketball. I think we even did bocce this past spring. Did you do
that's
bocce
fun.
with us?
Yeah.
So-
I'm about to do that soon.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of new sports too, floorball, and they're going to start pickleball, I think. So
Oh,
there's-
fun.
They do a lot of different things. But getting back to Liam, so I've coached him, and his dad Dan has been here this year, really doing, coaching on the sidelines, coaching during practices, really involved. But Liam is a very good athlete. He's very fast. And, when we get into binds, I use his speed to play defense. And it's really easy for me to say, okay, Liam, you need to stay with this athlete on this team, and just stay with him, take him out of his game. And I think it was last year in one of the state tournament games that we did that with a player on another team, and that player had scored a number of points in the first half, and in the second half, he didn't score any points, and I don't think he even finished the game because of the pressure that Liam was able to put on him.
Wow.
So
Great defense.
That's great, D.
yeah, and so offensively, I always make this joke, and Dan will appreciate this. I always say to them, look, we don't need to take more shots. We need to make more shots. And we're always pushing them in. I say, look, we took 150 shots. We made 8 baskets. All we need to do is make 10 next game, and we'll win.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make more.
So we're always asking them to move in. We don't care how many shots they take, but we're trying to eliminate some of the longer shots because they're lower percentage. And Liam is always willing to listen, and he's gotten
That's awesome.
much better with his offense.
I think what's been fun to see now that we've been working with these guys for years now, right? The fact that they've learned the game, they're playing well. There's one game this year that they were going down, and we're always telling them, you don't have to shoot right away, like pass the ball, and it was passed it in, passed out, worked around the key. And in for a layup. It was almost like,
It's like, ooh, ah, ooh.
it was just like that. It was just like
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So more of a team approach.
Well, it's been
That's
great to see them
awesome.
playing that way, and it's always fun to see when they listen and they execute, right?
So I have the updates of the Unified A division. I'll run them down. Sorry, real fast. The New Bedford Hawks are currently 7-0. Is that May Center? Sorry, the Bulldogs. They are 6-1. Helen's Angels Cougars. They are 4-2. Bridgewater Raynham Wolverines are 3-3. Hockomock All Stars are 2-4. Hockomock Hawks are 2 Hawks. Okay, we'll go with that. 2-4. ATR Wildcats are 2-5. The New England Village Titans are 1-6. And then in the other unified division, this is Unified C. Bridgewater Raynham Bears are 4-0. The Hawk Warriors are 2-1. Bridgewater Raynham Trojans are 2-1. The Mansfield Green Hornets are 1-2. Hockomock Huskies are 1-3, and a very young team, the Hellers Angels Bobcats, are 0-3. So that's a rundown of where the standings are right now. And today's date 2024, right? So those are updated stats.
Make sure the year's
So-
right.
I mean the date.
It's
Sorry.
important.
So the league completed that league play completed maybe a month ago, and the sectional tournament was over the last 2 weekends.
Okay.
So the Hockomock Y has 4 teams in there, and 3 of them won gold medals and are going to the state tournament, and 1 won a silver medal and will go to a selection process through the Special Olympics of Massachusetts. And what's cool, and they've done this for the last couple of years, but Wednesday night coming up, Special Olympics is going to have a live selection show
Nice.
to get
great.
the at-large bid. So
Where can you see that? Do you
I
guys
think
know?
it's the Special Olympics Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
How does it work?
There's also a 5th team, the Hockomock Dream Team. They
The
got
Hockomock
bronze.
Dream Team, yeah, I forgot about them. So our traditional team also completed their tournament last week or the week before. You might know better than me, Catherine.
Probably a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. It can be, some of these games can be pretty humbling. We played a team where they had an athlete that was 6'5" or 6'6",
Oh, goodness.
and he was really good. And he had
Unstoppable.
he had a couple of teammates that were also really good. And so if you think about the standings that you just had, I think there were 8 teams in our division, and that division for the tournament was split into 4, the top 4 and then the bottom 4,
Okay.
so that teams like that team that, and I can't remember what the team was, but very, very, very advanced athletes. They were very good. I mean, we lost to them, but I enjoyed every minute watching those guys play because they could play, and they were really good about it. I mean, which was also very rewarding. They were very good about it.
Nice.
One of the things that Soma tries to do is to group teams together by skill levels, right? And that way you get competitive games every single time because nobody wants to see blowouts and nobody wants to participate in blowouts. And so whether that be in any of the sports, the individual things like track, they always try to make sure you're matched up with folks that you can compete with, and everyone should have a good time with that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the most rewarding or challenging part of your jobs as coaches? That's a tough one. I just thought of it.
Good question.
For me, it's, I try to have a personal connection and touch point with every athlete at every practice. I know that Dan does it. I know that all of our volunteers try to do that. And that's a challenge because there's so much going on, and you're responsible for the practice. And the way we run practices, we do things for maybe 5 or 10 minutes to keep the attention up, and we're moving people around, we're doing this, we're doing that, but making sure that everybody has the attention that they need from the coaches and the partners is one of the things that we all try to do, but it can be challenging because we have 40 or 50 athletes. The most rewarding thing is watching these guys, these athletes, improve and mature in the game. And, we all try to teach more than the game. It's about sportsmanship, and it's, another big challenge we have is, we might have a big win in a tournament game, and we're all excited, and I'm just a little worried, and it's like, let's be respectful for the team that we just beat because they're upset, and it's the challenge for me is like, how do you manage the excitement that you don't want to curtail, but then also be respectful of the other team?
Sure.
All right, we have another call. We'll take this just before we go to our next break.
Hello, you are live on 40 Sports Talk.
Hi, I was just calling to ask a question about any of the cool places that he's been able to play flag football or basketball.
Wow, what a plant. What a great question. So we were just talking about this, I think, before we came on the show here. There's things that happen for these athletes, and they deserve it, but the opportunities that I never had growing up or whatever. And, in the past year, they've been able to play basketball at the Boston Garden. They've been able to play football, I think, the last 2 years at Gillette Stadium.
Wow.
They've had the opportunity to meet, Patriots players while they were at the stadium playing.
Cool stuff.
And I try to say, man, at this point, it's like you're playing on the, you're playing in Gillette Stadium. You're playing, you're playing in the Boston Garden, and the things happen so quick when you're at a venue like that. And we were at the Boston Garden, and it just happened, and you're coaching, and you're moving around, and you're over here, and you're over there, and you're doing everything. And when it was all said and done, I went up to one of the people and said, "Can I just have a ball so I can take a couple of shots?" So
how can you not? I mean,
I'm still like, I don't want to take away from these athletes. They work so hard, harder than you can imagine. But it's like, man, this might be my only chance.
I would have done the same thing. I did in the college
I'd do the same
tournament.
thing, definitely.
We did the college tournament. As soon as we got all the equipment set up, I was like, "Can I grab the basketball?" They saw me
shoot around, yeah.
And then the director's like, "Who's that fat guy down?"
No.
All right.
No.
So no, go ahead, Justin.
No, I learned this the other way. You don't want to get cocky, because when you get cocky, you brag, and you know what happens when you brag? You lose.
That's
That's
true.
right. It's a good mindset. And with that, we'll head to break. So you've been listening to 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM. If you want to call in, the phone number is 508-222-1320. We're live here with the Special Olympics YMCA basketball team, and we'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk on WARA 1320 AM in my farewell tour. It's been a good run. We have Luz Cabral in here, we have Justin Ferreira, the sports master, Dominic Damiano, and Casey on TikTok, and Matt Clayman on the board.
We're going to miss you. We're definitely going to miss you.
Remember, Clayman, not Flamin'.
No, I started off as Matt Flamin for the first 3 weeks.
So for those of you who don't know Matt was our intern here for the past, how long?
Probably since, I think, December.
December.
Feels, yeah,
okay.
around there.
And you were very, very shy back then. I can remember. It's funny. All our interns that we bring onto the show are kind of closed in, you know. And you have thrived. Can I tell you? You have learning the board, interacting, you know, with all of us and the guests that we bring in. Doing a hell of a job.
I appreciate that.
And he produced his first hockey game.
That's true.
Excellent.
That's right.
Got that extra experience doing this and the hockey.
Yep.
Yep.
After December.
Yep. We are going to miss you, Matt. Believe you me.
you.
He might
Yes,
come back
I will
for
too.
college. Maybe we'll come back for college.
We'll
Who
see.
knows?
I'm not going away forever.
Well,
I'll be back.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
exactly.
Well,
And
you
of
can
course,
you can always call in too, since
Oh,
you're
that's
just the
true.
call-in
He
number.
can come back as an intern if he wants.
Sure.
Whatever he wants. No pressure.
No,
No
you can't get
pressure.
rid of me. Huh? And I'll be back at the award ceremony.
Yeah,
at
that's
Alex.
right.
Definitely.
April 27th.
Definitely.
That's a good plug for that. Yep.
Right? There you go. Good job. Good time. All right, if you want to call in, 508-222-1320. We have the distinct privilege, and I actually said that without messing up the first time, as we cover the co-ed basketball, Special Olympic basketball, and we touched on a lot of good stuff so far, and we have about, this is as we actually running up our last half of this hour. Is there any, we talked about, we didn't really give out names as far as some of the people that make this work. Is there anybody we want to get out there that anybody want to name so you guys won't get in trouble when you go back to YMCA?
Special kudos,
Yeah,
even some
anything.
of the
I want to
players.
make sure we get that out before we forget, because there's so many questions. I haven't even started talking to your son yet about, one-on-one and all that other good stuff about shooting. So, but before we get into that, I just want to make sure we get any other volunteers you guys want to mention that make it work. I mean, you guys roundaboutly talked about the program, but we really didn't mention anybody's name as far as shout-outs. Kevin's giving it to you again.
Yeah, look at me. It's like, when you ask for names, you know you're in trouble because you're going to forget somebody.
It's
But
a trap, isn't it?
I mean, someone's better than nobody.
from the YMCA, Laurie and Ferry is the one who makes all of this work, and she organizes. She makes sure we have everything, as Dan had said earlier. She solves a lot of challenges that we have. She makes sure that our athletes have opportunities that aren't necessarily available unless somebody says, hey, we can go do this. And so she's really good about, hey, we have this opportunity to go do X. Who wants to go? We have the opportunity to do Y. Who wants to go? Hey, let's have a celebration or cookout or whatever. Who wants to go? So she does a lot of that stuff. And again, I'll list some people from a volunteer perspective, and Dan's going to pick me up, but Jim McCarthy was supposed to be here today, and he's just a phenomenal person to coach with and to be, friends with. I think over the last couple of years, a lot of us have gotten, we might not see each other outside of basketball or football, but, we know we can count on each other, and we have visions of a lot of things because we have this involvement with Special Olympics and, a really deep-seated want to have all of these athletes be successful within their sport and outside of sport. So he's really somebody that we see every practice, every game or whatever. And one of the things we haven't talked about, and I'm not going to, I'm going to miss people, but over the last few weeks with the tournament, our teammates, they practice together, and even though they have separate games, there's a lot of support, and athletes go to their other athletes' games to support them.
That's really cool.
You might not have a game, but you're still over at the MPlex supporting your teams, and that's something that makes me really proud. And our partners and our coaches and our support people from the Y, ensure that's embedded in all of these athletes, that it's not just about the sport, it's about all these other things, and, being supportive of all of our teammates.
I think that's a great point. And you had asked a question earlier around, like, what are some of the things you really enjoy about doing this? And I think for me, if you think about all of us growing up and people we know, like, why did you do athletics and what's important about it? And like, there's the competition side of it and the winning and everything that's fun about that. But, I look at it and say, all right, this is about, camaraderie, teamwork, putting the effort in, leadership, all those kinds of things that this is true with this too. And I think it's an opportunity for these guys to do that. And Kevin's point around going to see your buddies play their games, that's a kind of camaraderie that you want all your kids to have.
Exactly.
Right. And so to me, this is so much more than just the stuff on the field, but it's rather everything else that allows them to experience like all their other typical friends.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I got one more question, maybe two.
Let me just say,
Please.
There's just, you talk about volunteers and all that, but one of the things that we just said about the supportiveness at these games, there's a big support from the parents to make sure these athletes go if they want to go, and even push those athletes that it's the right thing to do to go. So,
That's awesome.
Without our parents being as involved as they are and supportive, we might not be where we are today either.
Right. So we have a pretty decent listening base and viewing base, even when we edit this and send out to different access towns. But the people that are thinking about volunteering, what advice or how could you have to? First of all, how can they get involved? Which way should they go about it in this whatever town they're in, and what advice can you give them so they have a good idea what they're getting into? Because it's time consuming. You guys, you love your kids. That's one reason why you do it. Just like anybody else in any other sport, you're doing it because you love your kids and you want to get involved. But there's more to it that they might not know. If you guys could maybe elaborate on that a little bit.
So there's probably a bunch of different answers to that question.
Yeah.
I think for the Hockomock Y, that answer would probably be reach out to the folks who are running the integration program, and from a volunteering perspective, it could be everything from a helper at practice to a partner on the floor to helping with coaching and all of those kinds of things. I'd say that if you're not sure who your local program is, call Special Olympics of Massachusetts, because they'll put you in touch with who you got to be put in touch with. And so I think that's great. I think that part of it is you got to go in with the right mindset. Quick story. I mentioned earlier that my wife and I do the Mansfield Special Olympics track team. And my dad just retired last year. He coached track and field for high school for 52 years.
Wow.
Wow.
He just retired this year?
Last year.
And he was at Mansfield High School?
No, in Connecticut, where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and had great success there. But I remember when we first started doing the track and field program, and he would send me like little YouTube clips of different things. And Liam at the time was throwing the javelin as part of that. And he sends me this whole video about getting the right fulcrum on the throwing of the thing, and I'm like, Dad, I just want to throw straight and keep it in the vectors. Like we gotta set the mindset. So, so I think part of it is that you're going to go here, and these guys want to play, and they need the help, but there's going to be other ways you have to kind of dial up or dial down the competitiveness of the situation.
So keep an open mind.
100%.
All right, so I could ask this athlete a question. What's the most points you ever scored in a game? You can brag.
I can't remember. I remember being so high. I had to give them petty points.
Pity points.
Wow.
You had to give him pity points?
8 or 10 probably.
8 or 10?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good number.
Probably a lot of points because maybe on average I score 8 to 10 points.
Listen, old star, we're not talking about you right now.
Yeah.
You should be though. She's a shooter.
I saw the video.
Yeah.
Sharpshooter.
What's the weirdest thing that ever happened during a game?
Anything in particular?
That's a great
or-
question.
Yeah, nothing particularly weird happened.
What do you think?
Weird.
Anything weird?
Yeah, it's like I think we
Kind
had
of out
a
of
couple of
place.
classics where someone gets the ball and starts going down the wrong hoop, and everyone's running after them, telling them to stop, that kind of thing.
Lights
But,
go out in the gym, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
When we're losing, we unplug so we can, that type of thing.
Okay. How about this? Did you ever defeat one team, and it was so easy. You would think like the next game we'd actually like a challenge this time.
Yes, exactly.
That happens a lot, quite honestly. I think
Really?
that because there's a lot of different teams. You know, as Kevin was talking about earlier, sometimes you got teams that are really good and some that are less so. But there's a lot in that middle, and so you were talking about the Attleboro North Attleboro rivalry. I think we've got a couple little rivals with some of the other teams that we see a lot. Hellers Angels and Taunton and Bridgewater Raynham that we see on a regular basis. So they kids know each other from other programs, and so they interact. And so I think that's some friendly competition for sure.
And social media, they probably talk to their buddies on social media.
For sure.
So you're in the second round of the playoffs. Did I say that right? I know I know I read the February 24, 2024 division. The stats there. How you guys finished? So are you in the second week of playoffs?
So we have a league that runs. We play 2 to 3 games on a Saturday for 8 weeks, and that's the league.
Okay.
And everybody gets to play everybody else in their division.
Yep.
And some of the challenges, like we had a day where we had 3 games. I think we might have played at 2, 3, and 5.
Wow.
And that's a lot for an athlete. So that league finishes, and then Special Olympics takes that and they redefine the playoff bracket for that section. So our section is Mansfield. So then you play. We played 3 weeks ago now, and then so 2 of our teams played 3 weeks ago. 2 of them played 1 week ago, and then our traditional team played 2 weeks ago, I think. And so once you get through the league, then you have your sectional tournament that, like I said, Special Olympics reshuffles, and there's 4 teams in each there were 4 teams in each one of these sectional playoff rounds.
Okay.
And so it was, I think, the first and fourth, second and third played each other, and then the winners of those played for the gold. And then the 2 runner-ups play for silver and bronze.
That's a lot of teams, right?
There's
Right?
a lot. What did he
Skip
say?
on all those
65
headphones.
teams, I think. Some amount of teams. So once you get through that sectional, as I was saying earlier, if you want a gold medal, then you go to the state tournament, and if you've got a silver medal, then you go to this selection process.
Yep.
That the Special Olympics goes through.
Well, there's a lot involved. So about to take our last break,
We'll take our last break.
and then we'll
here.
come back with state results.
Yeah, I'm just
Run
going to say
through
that.
those.
So we'll be back with state results. And again, you've been listening to 40 Sports Talk, WRA 1320 AM. And we'll be right back for our final segment on this rainy Saturday. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone, and you're back here on 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM, the news station. My last segment now.
This is it.
We're going down. We're getting down to the wire here. Lucy Cabral, we have here in studio, Justin Ferreira, the Sports Master, Dominic Damiano, Casey on TikTok in the back, doing the hard work, and then the YMCA Special Olympics basketball team, and then Matt Clayman on the board. So I know right now we're going to run down some state finals results
Yep.
for basketball, girls and boys, and hockey, I believe.
That's
so
it.
we can do that now.
Gonna run up the music,
we're
and
good, all
here
right.
we go.
All right, boys basketball results. Division 1, North High beats Franklin 59-53. Division 2, Malden Catholic beats Sharon 65-42. Division 2. Division 3, Charleston beats Old Rochester 61-40. Division 4, Wareham beats Bourne. Little Cape Cod matchup there, 86-71. Division 5, New Bishop beats Hossick Valley 57-49. Girls basketball, Division 1, Bishop Feion, they beat Wachusett Regional 48-40. Division 2, Medfield beats South High Community 48-42. Division 3, Foxborough beats Norwell 66-43. Division 4, Cathedral beats South Hadley 69-49. Division 5, Hossick Valley, they beat West Boylston 71-53. Boys hockey, Division 1, St. John's Prep, they beat Woodchester 3-2. That's actually a controversial game because they said the alarm sounded before the puck crossed the net.
That was a big thing.
That was really big.
People were mad about that.
Yeah, Division 2, Tewksbury Memorial, Boston Latin, they beat Tewksbury Memorial 4-2 in Division 2. Division 3, boys hockey, Marblehead beats Nauset 1-0. Division 4, Dover Sherborne, they beat Hanover 5-1. And finishing up girls hockey state results, Division 1, St. Mary's, they beat Notre Dame of Hingham in 3 overtimes, 5-4. And then finishing up Division 2 in girls hockey, Duxbury, they blank Falmouth 4-0. And those are your state results in winter high school sports.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
And congratulations
And
to everybody.
congratulations to all of them.
Last week we were running down the brackets, and we thought, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we did it. I don't know how we did it. but
Yeah, I
we got
don't
it all
either.
in.
It
Well,
was
we came
great.
down. Yeah, it came down the last 15 minutes. Hockey, we just let you know who was playing. Because you tried to do the Sweet 16 to congratulate everyone, the Sportsmaster congratulates everybody, and we tried to do at least the Sweet 16, who's playing where, who won. Oh boy, I'll tell you.
And being March Madness, everything was going
Yeah,
on.
it was
you know.
madness yesterday too.
The power of skill. That's how we did it.
That's right.
That's right.
Teamwork, you got it.
All about teamwork. And the actual March Madness is going on right now. College basketball.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's good stuff right
Yeah,
now.
my bracket isn't looking too
My
good.
bracket's all
Yeah.
messed up now.
Mine is too.
You
I-
just got to guess a favorite. Who's going to upset who?
Interesting.
I say a reverse of it. I do the opposite of there's no I in team. I say there's no team in independence. That's the word that starts
there
with
you
I.
go.
So
All right, so I got to ask you guys a question. So, Catherine Conley, how good is she? Is she? I heard she's taking some type of muscle enhancer drugs or something before the game. Some type of power drink with extra strawberries in it.
See, we don't know that much about
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
KC. I did see a video.
I do not do performance enhancement.
Oh no, yes.
Good to know.
I don't do any of that illegal stuff.
Just to clarify.
Strawberries not illegal,
Just to clarify.
right?
It's good that people know.
All right.
Launch
Well, at least you get a
investigation.
chance to clear
Yeah.
her name, right? You know what I mean? Before they
It's true.
banned her from the league.
That would never happen.
No, it's all in good
If you're
fun.
gonna yell into the mic.
I cannot believe you would embarrass me in front of my friends here.
All right, I completely apologize. I was totally taken out of wrong approach. Forgive me, Lord.
no,
Oh,
Nathan, I don't ever do that stuff.
the blue.
I'm sure you don't. It
It's good
was,
to hear. Yeah.
yeah.
At times, the blue and red rivalry has been taken too far.
that's true.
And
That's true.
and both parties are guilty of it.
Yeah.
I'll just say, we talked about her being a sharpshooter. I've also seen her play some tenacious defense.
Right.
Oh.
And, she'll get in there and tussle it up a little bit, too.
She's not afraid.
She is not afraid. She is not afraid. I'm glad we don't play her regularly.
So far as of right now, what do we? I mean, we touched on it a little bit, but just to wrap up this hour, what do we have going on as of right now to finish up the basketball season? I know we jumped on a little bit, but we could just get people caught up
So
again.
as Kevin was saying, we're down to finals now. And
Yep.
so playoffs starts here next week. There's 4 different locations around Massachusetts that Special Olympics is going to do that. And so, for the Y, we've got a couple teams that are playing for gold or coming in as the 1 seed. We've got a couple others that have the opportunity to be the at-large bids, and we're going
Nice.
to find out about later this week. But
Nice.
it's all showtime now.
And you said you can go to the Special Olympic website to find out, when that's
dates
when
and
who's going to get
times
picked.
and-
Is it? It's the teams obviously getting picked to compete, like you'd see in the NCAA.
100%.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you won your grouping,
Yep.
you're an automatic bid.
Right.
Okay.
Like
And then-
like college. Yep.
Like college, and then they've got a couple extras that they need to round that all out. And so, depending on who's available and who wants to go and how they did, it's an at-large pick.
Okay. So where would they? Let's say, and that. I'm sorry again. Say that again. When's going to be the pick? When are they picking?
So this Wednesday night, I think
Okay.
it's 7:00.
Okay.
At the Special Olympics Facebook page
Nice. So when would they start that next round?
next weekend.
Next weekend.
Sunday.
all
Wow.
over-
Easter weekend?
I'm sorry, you're right. 2
It's,
weekends.
I think it's April. Sorry, I think it's, I'm just looking at my phone. I think it's April
April 2nd, 7th?
7th.
Mhm.
April 7th.
Very good. Go ahead.
I want to comment. I hope my team gets picked.
Yeah.
We're not alone.
How we doing? Good, sir.
Yeah, we're good.
No, that was cool. I'm glad we got that out there. I didn't realize how many. Do you guys know off the top of your head, once everything's picked, how many teams roughly might be in this turn? It's going to be more than 64. I know that, right? Around the state, or at least, I mean, rough guess.
I want to say it's like 65.
Oh, let me get you
or
right.
something. I want to say it's like 65.
65. That's
Something
really
like that.
cool if you think about it. That's a lot
Wow,
of teams
that's
going
a lot
at
of
it.
teams.
I mean, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I believe it's around there.
That's pretty cool. So all the information, when in doubt, go to is it Special Olympics of
So
Massachusetts?
it's SpecialOlympicsMA.org. is
Okay.
their
Okay.
website. Yeah,
All right.
and all the
Okay.
event calendars.
And they'll
are there.
list, the locations that the games
100%.
will be played.
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, now we got to pick on our intern. I mean, say goodbye to our intern before
Oh.
before he goes. He was here for 2 months. Like Lucy said, I think the biggest thing about this internship, and the sports master and Catherine Conley can also confirm that it helps you get any nervous twitch you might have as far as interacting with people. And
Oh,
if you-
yes, definitely.
Right, so he's ready. He's ready.
He knows, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? When you're around the same people and you see different people from around the state, depending on what the sport is, and they're basically radio journalists, Catherine's doing more social media, but she's run that board before, and
I came in as an intern also.
Yep, she came in actually when we were in Taunton before we had the privilege of coming to this station. So,
Yeah.
any things you want to add about your internship?
Yeah.
I would
Want
just-
some
How did you
pictures or
like
something?
it?
I would just say it's been a lot of fun. I've been thoroughly enjoyed my time here. Talking to guests every week, different people. You get to meet a lot of people, and obviously learning all different parts of the thing. You can do production here.
Yep.
Obviously, if you have knowledge of sports or you like sports, it's good for that. Getting experience with that, directing, editing. If you want to be part of the hockey games with Dom,
Right.
he's always open for help.
Right.
But yeah, so you can really do it if you're interested in any kind of part of that. So you don't have to be set on one thing. You get to explore different paths, and I think it'll really help me in the future. And
I
I've really
think so,
appreciate
too.
everyone here. It's
we-
been a good
we-
time.
Awesome,
We
Maddie.
enjoyed
We
having you.
appreciated you too.
So we'll say bye to the general manager before we go. So we're good on time, sir?
Yeah, we're closing out here, our last minute.
All right, so if we want to close it out and play some background music. And first of all, we want to wish you guys the best in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Once you get selected, good luck. And thank you for taking the time on this crazy day to talk
To
about
come
the
in.
Special Olympics.
Yes. Yes.
And thank you guys for coming in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely.
Well, signing off here from my last day. Well, I might be back. We'll see for the Audrey's award
Yes,
ceremony.
the
day,
award
so,
ceremony. Definitely.
may not be gone forever. I'll be there, of course. But thank you to everyone who's listened over the past few months while I've been here. And signing off here, 40 Sports Talk, WARA 1320 AM. We'll be back not next week, the week after
2
that.
weeks, yep.
Yeah, 2 weeks of that. So we will see you then.